Yo, dudes, what's going on? It's Brian and Jim from DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, and today we're continuing our look at winter sports with Heavy Shreddin for the NES.
Released in 1990, this was developed by Imagineering and published by Barker Brothers. The board game people? Alright. Anyway, Imagineering, a name we know well. Early on, they were known for making ports of NES games for Atari consoles, such as Ikari Warriors, but we know them for all the Simpsons games on the NES. And Bart's Escape from Camp Krusty, one of the worst Simpsons games in general, and probably one of the worst ones on the Game Boy as well. So, that does not give us a lot of confidence. Let's see how this turns out.
Alright, so graphically, this game... This is a tough one for me and Jim. We had to go back and forth on this. Although it's very simplistic and you just basically get a repeat of mountains, snow, trees, with the occasional random hazard like elk, people, red boulders for whatever reason, and a rushing river, everything pretty much looks the same. However, we did decide, you know what, we need to at least bump this up to a 5 for one simple reason. The guy you're playing as reminds us of Bret the Hitman Hart. Anyone that can claim to be the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be gets at least one more point from me and Jim. So here's to you, Hitman. And as far as the beer requirement meter is concerned, I'm only going to add one beer, because if this guy is like Bret the Hitman Hart, you know he's Canadian, and that means you can't really drink too much. So we're going to limit it to one beer.
Really?
What?
Really?
What'd I do?
First the Asians, now the Canadians. Really? The nicest people in the fucking world, and you call them assholes.
You're not from America.
Ugh, God, I hate them. Anyway, the sound. It's a whole lot of average. You get one song throughout the entire trip down the mountain. It's catchy, and it's very short, and of course it loops, but at least it doesn't somehow get annoying, so that's good. You get a slightly different part of the tune when you, say, get past a checkpoint, but besides that, the music's what you get. You do get a nice little jingle for every time you hit a tree or have some kind of penalty, and you're going to hear that sound a lot. Trust us. Overall, it's a very mediocre package here, but I gave it a 5. I'm going to give it a 6. Mainly because that sweet pink and black attack makes me think of that sweet, sweet music. And I'll give it, why the hell not? I'll give it 2 beers for Bret Hart's 2 US title reigns.
Let me just set the record straight real quick. Nobody cares about Bret Hart's reign in WCW.
He had one in WWE too!
Shut up, Smark. The control. So, I'll give this game credit. For anyone out there who's ever tried to snowboard, you know it's hard as hell. And the first time you pick up the controller with this game, just like in real life, you are gonna bust your ass over and over and over. However, once you get used to it, it's not so bad. This game's crazy. You have to be so pixel perfect with the control, and there is a lot of nuance. You can tilt your board forward to go a little bit faster. You can jump, you can grab the front of your board, you can spin around, and you have to utilize all of this to make sure you avoid all the many, many obstacles you're going to run into. So while once you do learn it, it's not so bad, there's still a slight delay, and just for that toughness factor, we couldn't give it above a 5. As far as the beer, I'm going to add 3, just because you're going to need some alcohol to increase your patience.
Alright, the gameplay. Well, so you get 3 different mountains in the game, and as you go down the mountains, you have 5 different stages in each. And as you would imagine, the difficulty gets harder the further along you go. So basically, each mountain has events. So you have downhill, slalom, half-pipe, moguls, and what they like to call backwoods, which is really more of a foresty kind of feel. And as you keep going and keep going, the game gets harder and harder. So, the game's pretty damn hard, and memorization's a must. You're going to be playing certain parts a lot until you get it perfected. I mean, hell. We sucked at this. We could barely get to the second event in any mountain. Brian gave it a 6, I gave it a 5, and I'll add another 3 beers just for the pure frustration level.
Alright, so with regard to the originality, this is still one of the first winter-style games on the NES. Obviously, last week we went over Slalom, and now we just have a snowboarding game, which hasn't been on the NES yet. So it has that going for it. But really, it's very similar to Slalom in the sense that you're just going down a hill, avoiding obstacles. Obviously, the layout is completely different, and that's where this game really gained the most points. Like we said before, you have some little tricks you can do. You can really increase your speeds as you're doing some of these tricks. You have to make some ridiculous jumps. So it's something we really haven't seen on the NES yet, but at the same time, at its core, it's just a going down the hill as fast as you can game. So, as you see, we both gave it 7s. I'm only going to add one more beer because at this point, you're going to need to have a little bit of focus in order to finish this game.
Ooh. Alright, the replayability. You know what? At its core, there isn't a lot here as far as gameplay options go. But, as I said before, the game is so frustratingly hard. And you have to be so pixel perfect in your memorization. You're going to be playing again and again and again and again until you either beat it or you burn your cartridge in anger and then piss on it and then throw it in a trash can and then set it on fire and then put that flaming trash can down a mountain and then shoot it and then pee on it again. Alright, sorry. Anyway, we gave it 5s. It takes a lot of playing, it takes a lot of replaying it to get it good, but besides that, the options just really aren't there. And hell, I'll go with Brian. I'll get another beer because might as well top yourself off.
So this was really an odd game to score for us because even though, like Jim said, we both really sucked at it, there's something oddly appealing about it. I don't know if it is the fact that the guy looks like Bret Hart. I don't know if it's the music isn't so bad. Whatever the case.
It's the Bret Hart.
Yeah, it's probably the Bret Hart. Whatever the case, once you got used to control, there's something in you that really wants to keep playing this game. But at its core, it really is just frustrating, and it's not one of those NES frustrating games like Mega Man where it's deserved difficulty. It's more just annoyance with the control and the stiffness. So, as you see, we both gave it 5s. Definitely not the worst game, but nothing you're going to be running over your friend's house to play. Alright, and as far as the beer pairing is concerned, I'm going to have to go with the Saranac Into the Dark Black IPA. This beer comes in at 6.5%, which is just strong enough to numb the pain of always falling on your ass, but not dull your senses so much you can't stand up on your board. As always, guys, thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you click subscribe, or give us a thumbs up. And make sure you let your friends know about us. We're trying to grow. Cheers, guys.